40,000 prisoners here are the most unsafe people you can even imagine. How many people's lives have you ended? Is it 5 or 10? How many?
More than 50.
MS-13 and many other gangs. These are animals. These aren't people.
They're psychopaths. So
High-level media podcasts.
breakfast is usually beans and rice, and dinner's pretty much the same. The lunch, it's rice, pasta, and 2 tortillas.
Does the menu vary from day to day?
No,
Is it the same every day?
it's always the same. It's for freshmen.
Okay. It's a sugary drink. I'm going to taste it for myself. Inmates must eat with their hands and clean their plates before returning them. With a diet lacking in protein, many likely suffer from nutritional deficiency.
Through this grid, I can see them and identify who's inside. We serve food here, and we also use this space to put handcuffs on them before opening the door to move them from here to their cell.
Welcome to the isolation cell. If an inmate misbehaves, this is where he ends up. He won't know the time or how much longer he'll be kept inside. For days or even weeks, he sleeps on this concrete bed without ever leaving. They are cut off from the outside world, left alone with nothing but their thoughts. This is where they supply their water. There's a water basin here. They take their water here, and this is where they pee. The basin for drinking water and the toilets are located side by side. The toilet looks recently used and dirty, suggesting that this cell has recently been used. The only light they have is this little hole that barely lets the sunshine in. This openness is also the sole source of fresh air.
Remove the mask.
What is your name?
My name is Marvin Ernesto Medrano Vasquez.
How old are you?
I'm 41 years old.
You don't look 41. You look younger, like 35.
That's a good thing that you told me because I feel old.
Can I see your tattoos?
MS-13.
When did you join this crime organization?
In 2004, but I started my criminal record since I was 11 years old.
How did you first become involved?
When somebody is born with just a mom and the mom is working, you look for the streets, you look for somebody to help you out. I said, oh, my mom's poor, I need some shoes, I need some clothes, and I started robbing. Then I need a father figure because I didn't grow up with my father. And then I looked the group of gangs, then I did a homicide, and I came right here to El Salvador, trying to change my life, but I seen that there were more gangs right here, and I started doing the same thing I did upstate, and I got locked up. I've always been one of them persons that wanted to accomplish the things that they put in their mind, and I accomplished everything I had to do right here. But I'm right here. This is how the devil pays the people.
Yeah. Is it true that to join this crime organization, you need to end someone's life?
Yeah.
But the first one must be one of your relatives, right?
Yeah, because you got to gain territory for your gang. I lost my mom, my dad, my son, everything right here for cause of the gangs. When I could be with my family, hey, upstate, the United States, a better life. But, you know, we took wrong decisions, and this is the cause of this. That's why I tell the youth, hey, go to school, listen to your mom, listen to your dad. Don't live this life that we live right here. There's no way out.
How many people's lives have you ended? Is it 5 or 10? How many?
No, if you talk about what you used to do in the jails after, it probably get a few, more than 50. You gotta do it sometimes.
How did you become cold-blooded and merciless in time?
I can't really respond you with that question.
How do you feel about not seeing your family forever since you're in Sakat?
I feel bad because I seen my son the last time when he was 5 years old, and he's 21 years old right now. I want to see him. I want to tell him, hey, don't do the same things that your dad did. Look for a good life.
People who have fallen victim because of you will never see their loved ones again. You will also never see your family. How do you cope with emotions like missing someone?
I feel bad. Sometimes, like I tell you, I lay down on my bed and I think a lot of things, and sometimes I cry.
What is your motivation to stay alive here?
To one day change my life and look for God in my life, and I tell God, hey, forgive me because I did some things.
Okay. Finally, we see the sunlight. Honestly, Sakat is a place you would never wish to end up in, even as a visitor. But for the people who victimized Salvadorans, it is now their forever home. These criminals took the innocent people's right to live.
and now they're paying for it. The Salvadorian government's message is clear. Crime is no longer tolerated and the punishment is severe.
El Salvador once had the highest rate of lives lost due to widespread chaos. During its peak, 104 out of every 100,000 people lost their lives in a single year. Previous administrations agreed to a truce with these groups, but this couldn't bring lasting order. Although the current government's methods are controversial, by 2023, the number dramatically dropped to 2.4 per 100,000 people, placing El Salvador among the safest countries in the world for the first time.
So far, the results are undeniable. Peace has returned to the neighborhoods. But what about those who were wrongfully imprisoned? Is it true justice or way to
Highest profile criminals. Those who enter this prison are destined never to leave alive.
There's no way out. How are you gonna come out of this?
Once dominating the country, these gangs faced a dramatic crackdown starting in March 2022. Under President Nayib Bukele's administration, over 70,000 individuals, about 2% of the country's adult population, were arrested within just 16 months. Buses transported thousands of chained gang members to Sikot in a tightly coordinated nighttime operation. Sitting one behind the other, heads lowered, they looked like a single mass. Surrounded by armed guards, none of them dared to resist commands. Their life has changed in a day. In this documentary, we will interview one of them, one of the most ruthless gang leaders, known by the nickname Psycho.
10 minutes. You only have 10 minutes.
Built in 2022, this massive prison is made up of 8 separate modules spread over 410 acres of land. Each pair of modules is enclosed by 2 separate 3-meter-high walls with razor wire. The entire facility is surrounded by a towering 9-meter-high wall with a 3-meter-high electric fence carrying 15,000 volts. 19 watchtowers are ensuring nothing escapes notice. The entire design doesn't just prevent escape, it erases the very idea of dippers in a single shared basin. There's no running water in the cells, so the prisoners have to rely on one blue barrel for drinking water.
Where they sleep is these metal bunks. No pillow, no mattress. Each prisoner receives just the bare essentials: a white sheet, a uniform, socks, slippers, and a towel. That's it.
The prisoners spend their entire days on their 4-level bunk bed of the devil. Some even claim that they carried out their actions under the devil's command. A teardrop tattoo signifies that the person has ended someone's life. The number of teardrops indicates how many lives they've taken. If there are 3 teardrops, it suggests that the tattoo's owner has taken so many lives that they've lost count. With the phrase "laugh now, cry later," these masks or clown tattoos send a clear message. Stay strong in the face of hardship now and deal with the consequences.
Porque uno ha sufrido, ha perdido mi familia, ha perdido, ¿qué no hemos perdido nosotros en la cárcel? ¿Vale? Y hoy estamos en un penal de máxima seguridad, cuando decía sabemos que ya no va a haber salida para nosotros.
Cuando tiene la MS, como lo tienen los 18, hay tatuajes que no pueden ver ustedes, cambian las letras, los números, muchos de ellos tienen balazos.
O si yo para como pandillero no estoy de acuerdo en lo que ellos hacen, pero para el pueblo salvadoreño digo yo que es lo mejor, porque no hemos sido personas buenas.
Ya el control acá, damos paso. un interno media vez ingrese aquí al SECOT, no vuelve a salir.
Cuando uno está pequeño, cuando uno está niño, cualquiera le da mentira, ¿verdad? Lo endulza y uno cae en un error. Y cuando uno ya va creciendo a su medida de edad, mayormente, uno se viene a dar cuenta, ¿verdad? En el error que uno ha caído.
Estamos perseverando día con día, tratando de cambiar, con la ayuda de nuestro Dios. Por misericordia, todo lo que estamos aquí, estamos tratando de cambiar nuestra vida a través de nuestro Señor Jesucristo y tratando de dar una nueva imagen.
Que no existen violaciones de derechos humanos, que están dentro de el momento que están pasando por su vida, están en condiciones dignas y bueno, en términos generales que hay mucho más trabajo que hacer pues, desde el punto de vista de derechos humanos por ellos, pero que lo estamos haciendo bien.
Todo esto me arruinó mi vida. Gracias a esto, a lo que yo soy, fui en un momento, vine a perder a mi familia.
¿Qué rango tenía dentro de la familia?
No, un soldado.
Remember these mega prisons? Well, El Salvador's government says they're working. According to government figures, the murder rate in the country has dropped significantly. Some 74,000 people have been arrested since President Bukele waged a war on gangs. Last year, over 150 people a day were sent to prison. Although thousands were freed by judges, the alleged gang members that are still locked up aren't allowed to go outside or even have visitors. Human rights organisations have criticised the government for unfairly jailing citizens on suspicion of being linked to the gangs and for the system's lack of rehabilitation.
Todo esto me arruinó mi vida. Gracias a esto, a lo que yo soy, fui en un momento, vine a perder a mi familia.
¿Qué rango tenía dentro de la familia?
No, un soldado.
It looks like a sea of skin and tattoos. These images released by El Salvador's government shows the transfer of about 2,000 inmates stripped to their shorts and with their heads shaved to what's been dubbed the country's new mega prison. It just opened. It's believed to be the largest prison in the Americas with a capacity for 40,000 people, and it's the latest step in a controversial crackdown on crime that's caused the country's prison population to soar. Human rights organizations have reported that innocent people have been caught up in the law enforcement campaign. That includes dozens, they say, who have died in police custody. Last year, the country's president asked Congress for emergency powers to temporarily suspend some constitutional rights after a massive spike in murders attributed to gang crime. It includes that arrests can be made without a warrant, and detainees no longer have a right to a lawyer. Private communications of all citizens can also be accessed by the government. Since then, about 64,000 suspects have been arrested. Murder reports fell about 57% last year.
In El Salvador's war against gangs, there is no mercy. Inmates are treated like enemy combatants, prisoners of a war where the rule of law is often ignored. The country's new mega prison is the largest in Latin America, space for 40,000. As this footage released by the government shows, some are barely adults. Once feared members of the MS-13 or Barrio 18 crime networks are off the streets and forced into submission.
It looks like a sea of skin and tattoos. These images, released by El Salvador's government, shows the transfer of about 2,000 inmates, stripped to their shorts and with their heads shaved, to what's been dubbed the country's new mega prison. Just opened, it's believed to be the largest prison in the Americas with a capacity for 40,000 people, and it's the latest step in a controversial crackdown on crime that's caused the country's prison population to soar. Human rights organizations have reported that innocent people have been caught up in the law enforcement campaign. That includes dozens, they say, who have died in police custody. Last year, the country's president asked Congress for emergency powers to temporarily suspend some constitutional rights after a massive spike in murders attributed to gang crime. It includes that arrests can be made without a warrant, and detainees no longer have a right to a lawyer. Private communications of all citizens can also be accessed by the government. Since then, about 64,000 suspects have been arrested. Murder reports fell about 57% last year.